Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode where today, guys, we have an automotive treat. So if you're in the auto, RV, power sports, marine, or just a retail business, this guy has some tips and tricks for you that are going to help you entrepreneurs out. If you're just getting started or if you've been in the business for many years, he's going to tell you the secrets to his success. He is a former RV dealer who built an RV empire. Today, guys, pay close attention because you're not going to want to miss out. We have Tad Jenkins with us today. Tad, thanks for hopping on the podcast, man. Super glad that we're able to find some time. Welcome to the show. Tell me about your story here. So, what my podcast is about is, we're trying to reach entrepreneurial, business-minded people who want more than just the average. You know what I mean? Getting people like you on the show who've been in business for many years. And now, I work mainly in automotive and RV industries. And a lot of those guys in those industries, they have dreams of opening up a dealership one day. And a really good friend of mine, he's a used car dealership, but he specializes in high lines and he's doing very well, but he has aspirations to be a new car franchise. But I think, one of the questions that I have for you is how the heck did you get into a new car franchise situation? Because I know it's difficult. It's not easy.
I first started back in 1990, I think it was 92, getting in the RV business. I didn't know nothing about RV business. I didn't know nothing. I sold horse trailers.
Okay.
And I wanted to buy an RV for my family, and I found one up in Tacoma, Washington that I thought was pretty cool. So I called the factory and said, where do I buy them in Idaho? He said, well, the closest place is Salt Lake. And I said, well, really? Do you want a dealer in Idaho? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, what does it take to be a dealer? He says, you got to buy 12 units. I said, hell, I can sell 12 of anything. So we bought 12, and that was quite an interesting deal. One of the best years I ever had. Sold 30-some units, made money. Mm-hmm. Felt like I was taking advantage of people, but the reality is you're not, because you got to take care of them afterwards. And those things, I love RVs. I chip my teeth on them, everything. I love them. Mm-hmm. But they're named RV for a reason. It's ruined vacation.
I'd never heard anybody call it that one.
That's what it is. And I used to say it when I was selling Highline motorhomes. And I tell them, I said, this is a piece of shit. And that's just a fancier piece of shit that costs more. That's all it is. Okay. So the TV ain't gonna work there, and it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work up here or there, So anyway, yeah. So I was in the RV business, and long story short, I went back to Indiana, and they asked me to be the president of their Integra line, their big manufacturing, or their big diesel pushers. Yeah. Now, I don't know that anybody can actually say this without having had it, but I know what it's like to have leprosy. 100%. Okay. Totally get it. It's when you are selling or trying to sell a brand new line, has no name recognition, in the height of the Great Recession that is second only to the Great Depression in 2010, and trying to get dealers to buy those things, and then trying to get people. I pull into a lot, and all the salesmen would go into their desk. The owner would go out the back door. It was crazy. Yeah. But I just kept persevering, and pretty soon it was one of the most sought after motorhomes on the market. So that's what it's about, is just continue to persevere. Well, Indiana, I don't know if you ever lived in Indiana.
Never. Been there many times, but never lived there.
It's terrible. It's really, really hot in the summer, and it's really, really cold in the winter, and it's really, really yucky weather in both front and back of that, fall and winter. And I don't know, we decided we wanted to come back. So I sat down and made myself a list of all the car dealerships within a 100-mile radius of Idaho Falls. Mm-hmm. And I just called them one by one. Said, hey, this is Tad Jenkins. I used to live in Idaho, southeast Idaho. I want to move my family back. I'm looking for a new car franchise. You wouldn't happen to know somebody whose new car franchise is for sale? And the first thing they always said, mine not for sale. I said, well, no. I'm not calling you about yours. But of course I was. Yeah. I'm calling, you're in the business. Maybe you're going to find somebody. Well, long story short, Bing, David Taylor from Ruby Chevrolet called me back and said, hey, what about that? Mm-hmm. I'm like, really? That's only 12 miles. That's pretty cool.
That works.
So I went ahead and bought it. And through the process, I'd asked David, I say, David, I don't have no car insurance, no car experience. This is not, seriously? And he'd say, oh, you'll be fine. You got all that RV, you'll be fine. I don't know. It's pretty scary. So I laid her all on the line, gave him a big old down payment. Mm-hmm. and sent in my paperwork, and GM canceled me. They said no. Now, I didn't tell my wife. I didn't tell nobody. I mean, I just went in the bathroom, puked a few times. And then I came out. I mean, I was sick. I didn't know. I knew that's what it was. I knew you don't get into it without it.
Yeah.
So I called the zone manager and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm just sitting here in my office." I said, "Well, cool. Where are you meeting tomorrow?" See, he didn't know. He knew I was getting the letter, but he didn't know I had the letter. He said, "Well, I'm going to be down your way." I said, "Well, cool. Would you mind stopping in?" "Yeah, sure." Because he thinks anyway, so he comes in. I spent about an hour and a half with him, touring him around the dealership, showing him what we're going to do, telling him we're going to move that wall, we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do that. And, just laid out my plan to him. No formal plan. I didn't have no spreadsheet, nothing like that. Just totally, this is what we're doing. And then as he was getting ready to leave, he started shaking my hand, and I said, "Nice that you came. I really appreciate it." And I said, "But got a letter." And you should have just seen him. He tensed up just like he. It was funny. And he says, "What letter?" And I said, now, Steve, we've only known each other pretty much for an hour and 45 minutes. Let's not start lying now. Okay. We can't. That lying's not cool. Okay. "Oh, I'm not lying." I says, "You're lying because you know I was getting the letter. You just don't know I have it." And I said to him, I said, "Well, here's what I'm going to tell you about that letter. Okay. It says that I don't get to be a dealer. And it doesn't say anywhere in there that I get to contest it or anything." I said, "I've got myself a big old paperweight here because I don't have the franchise." I said, "But here's the deal. If I know that you can make the decision." He said, "Oh, no." I said, "Again, can't lie. Don't lie. You may not be able to make the ultimate decision, but you have influence on the decision." So I said, "You're going to go out there in your car and you're going to call whoever you call. And you're going to tell them whatever you're going to tell them about the visit here because I think it was really good. Did you think it was really good?" "Well, yeah, I think it was." Okay. I said, "Here's the deal. When you get out there and when you drive off, you're going to have a choice to make. You're going to either stay with the decision that you are, or you're going to say, you know what, I think we rethink this." Now, if you stay with the decision that you're with right now, that will be the single biggest career altering move of your entire life. That'll be the dumbest thing you've ever done. You couldn't get caught having sex with the president's secretary on the president's desk by the president and be worse than this. That's how bad it is. Do you understand that? Well, I said, I'm telling you, it is the worst career decision you have ever made if you stick with this. Now, on the flip side, if you go out and you say, you know what, I think that guy might be able to do something, that will be the single best decision you have ever made in your entire life. In fact, you could never do anything that would ever top it that would make it better. I said, I will make you known in the hallways of Detroit that you will get promotions beyond whatever you ever dreamed of just because you approved Little Rigby Chevrolet. I promise. He said, wow, you're pretty confident. I said, it's not confidence. It's just fact. I said, you look at my record. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. You're an idiot if you don't say yes to me, but it's okay. But you know what? The only way we're going to know if I'm right is if you approve me. Because if you don't approve me, it just stands like it is today. But if you do approve me and I kick ass, then he can show you. So anyway,
Wow.
Time goes on. He's with me about a couple years. And I mean, I kissed his tail. Because the bureaucrats in these big companies, they just, I mean, they're off at 4 o'clock on 3 o'clock on Friday. I mean, they just don't know how. They don't know how to work. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was always praising him and everything. And we were kicking tail. I mean, we were selling stuff. And he called me one day and he says, I'm not going to be your zone manager anymore. And I said, oh, Steve, no way, man. You can't do that to me. You're my guy. You're my mentor. Mm-hmm. And he said, but the reason for my call is I'm calling to thank you, Tad. And what are you calling to thank me for? He said, you remember when you told me that if I approved you or got you approved, that would be the single best career move I've ever done? I said, yeah. Remember how you said that you'd make me known in the hallways of Detroit? I said, yeah, I remember that. And he said, every conference call, every time I went back there, everybody wanted to know what the hell's going on in Rigby. And he had just got promoted to be the East Coast sales manager for the whole East Coast, which probably gave him a pay raise from $1 million a year to $5 million a year. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah,
and
that's huge.
He said, I owe it to you. And he said, I will go to my grave telling him that's why I got it. And I said, well, that's really nice, Steve. I really appreciate it. Not many people do that, but that's what I did. The thing is confidence. I mean, I didn't have anything to lose. I mean, I didn't have a franchise. Yeah. So if I decided that, if I pissed him off, oh well. But I made him think. But I first gave him the facts. I took him, spent the time, and I laid the groundwork. I didn't just call him and say, what the hell are you doing? You know how? No. Yeah. He didn't even know I had that thing till after. So,
wow.
And now we're selling, I think last month we sold 92 new Chevrolets, and I think our neighbors to the south of us did 35 or something like that.
So that's interesting that you say that. So what is it that you're doing differently that, other dealers are not? Is it your leadership? Is it your people? Is it processes? What is it?
Well, it's a pretty integral formula.
Okay.
And it's one that I kind of developed a long time ago. It's taken a long time to get there, and it takes an even longer time to get your team on board with it because they're very skeptical. And I'll tell it to you if you're ready, if you want to hear it. But you got to listen. I'm not going to tell it 17 times. I'm just going to do it once.
No, I'm listening. Full ears. Yep.
We're nice.
Okay.
That's it. It's not a bad experience to buy a car. It's actually fun. You can come in, hit our door, and within an hour you can be out the door with a brand new car. And no hassles. We're not throwing your keys on the roof. We're not doing any of that crap. We're not passing you around to 17 people. We sell every new car at invoice, less applicable rebates and incentives every time. And we don't play with that. And then we go on the auction and we look at what we could buy your car today for at the auction. I mean, why would I pay you more?
Yeah.
And we do that. And people just come and they just buy. And when you get people to buy from you and stop selling to them, that's when life gets really good.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to do because you want to just keep selling. You want to keep selling. But the reality is you got to get them to where they buy from you. And when they start buying, because that's where our slogan was. It was Tad Jenkins Chevrolet, where cars and trucks are bought.
Not sold. I like it.
You don't sell them.
Interesting.
And the other one is the whole ad campaign that we came up with that is cars and trucks cost less than Rigby. They don't sell it for less because that's illegal. Can't do that. But you can say that they cost less. And we won that from the state attorney general because we got turned in. They was kind of pissy. They didn't like that.
I like you. I like your attitude. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast.
Life's what you make it. You get up in the morning, you can have a really good day or you can have a shitty day, and it's all up to you. It is nobody else. It is nobody else. And it doesn't matter how many employee problems or customer. I tell people all the time, this business would be so easy if we didn't have to deal with employees or customers. It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. So. But that's what we do is we be nice. We literally be nice. And what we do is I tell my employees, and I tell them over and over and over, and you have to do it 100 million times. If you do it for, hang on, sorry.
You're good.
If you do it for your grandma, do it for a customer. If grandma calls and she's stranded on the highway, what are you going to do? You're going to go get her, right? And you're going to do everything you can. You're going to use all your resources to get that car to the shop. When you get to the shop, you find out it needs a new battery. Does grandma need to pay for a battery? Yep. She got to pay for a battery. That's exactly what you do. And if you do that and you do it consistently and you leave that as your absolute mantra, you've done it when employees say to you, me, would you do that to your grandma? Geez, don't use my own. You can't do your own. That ain't no fair. No.
Using it against you.
They do. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting that you put it like that.
the other
So,
thing we do,
go
for
ahead.
3 years, every Monday morning, we have an employee meeting for 30 minutes. I never understood how a coach could ever get his kids to run up and down that, or kids or men or whatever is playing basketball, to run up and down that hard floor without ever having a scoreboard. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they couldn't look up and see where the score is, where we are, how we doing, are we a team, are we going to make it? So every Monday morning we go over the numbers and we tell them that we trust them, and we tell them the numbers. We tell them our sales, how many units we're selling, how much gross profit we're making as a group on the thing. Mm-hmm. We tell them our margins in the parts department. We tell them our margins in the service department. They know where we are, and they know where we need to be able to win. And so, and they also are all empowered by that meeting. Every one of them could give a customer a brand new truck. I mean, right down to the very start wash person. If they felt like that to get that customer, and he would do it for grandma to give her a whole new truck, that's okay. And I'll stand behind it 100%. Now, we may have a little talk and say, okay, now we do this again, we're not going to be giving away trucks. But you do empower your people. You let them make mistakes. You don't get mad at them when they do, because you don't want them hiding it. You do not want them hiding it. Mm-hmm. You ask them if they learned something. You share the score. And we make them we don't make them. We ask them to bring in a customer experience to the meeting and talk about it, so that they can flip the desk and know what it's like, and they can get that feeling of what it's like on the other side of the desk when they're telling this customer that, their engine just runs 14,000. That's a big deal.
Big deal. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So
you got it all right there.
That's it. Be nice to people and treat them everybody like your grandma. I like that mentality, because it puts it black and white in your head as to how you should treat people. Really easy to relate to.
I just had a really terrible experience with Delta, and I told the lady at the counter, if you do this to me, I'm almost 3 million miles in your seats. I will never sit down on your fabric again. Do you understand me? And do you know what never means? And she just said, sir, there's nothing to do. And what that is, that's a boss who above somewhere has made a rule that was supposed to take care of stupidity. Well, you can't fix what God left out, okay? You just can't. I mean, if people are stupid. So you have to make it so that they can make stupid decisions on your dime and be okay with it. Yeah. And it's a problem in our whole deal. I don't have any rules in my house unless you break one. Then I make a rule. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that makes sense. So one of my questions is for you, just thinking it back. So that's like your business philosophy and the story of how you got your franchise. But, if you were back again today at zero, you were a nobody with nothing, what would you do to make it big again, to get it all back? Or would you want it all back?
Yeah, because it's not really about, you know why I don't hunt?
Why?
Because it's all the thrill is just before that bullet leaves that chamber.
Yeah.
And then it ain't no more thrill. It's all work. Mm-hmm. I love the thrill of the chase.
Same.
I absolutely love it. And so, yeah, I would have it all back. I'd have it back again. But if I had nothing today and I started working as a wash guy, I'd be the best damn wash guy. I'd have the highest CSR scores. I would never be caught going slow. I would always have them polished really good. And if I had made a mistake, I'd own it. Mm-hmm. If you do those things, management and the owners and all these people they're gonna notice. And the next thing you know, you're the parts manager. Next thing you know, you're the ops manager. Next thing you know, you're the general manager. Next thing you know, you're saying, hey, boss, can I buy this from you? And boss is kind of ready to retire, and he says, sure. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But if you're a shithead, when you're down there washing them cars because you think that's just a dumb, low job that doesn't need to be done, in fact, it's probably the most important job in the dealership. If you're going to take that attitude, you're never going to go anywhere. You're just going to get home at night, smoke your pot, drink your beer, and when it's cold, that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, not everybody's going to be the boss. There's a lot of people out there who are
They don't
They don't
want to
want.
be the
They
boss.
don't want to be. Yeah.
I didn't want to be the boss, but it just happened.
Yeah.
You got to be the boss if you're going to do it, though, because I mean, I can't be in Amsterdam and be selling cars at a pace that it's
No.
selling. So
No, you can't. You gotta have good people running your business for you, and you gotta support them like hell.
and you gotta own their mistakes and allow them to make them.
Yeah. So I got a like kind of like an industry insight question for you, because one thing that I see a lot is big box conglomerates, the Auto Nations of the world, the Lithias, the private equity money, the public money that's coming in. What do you think is going to happen in the automotive industry in the next 10 to 20 years? Like, you think it's just going to be all?
It's going to continue to consolidate
Yeah.
because they got all the money.
Yep.
And little Fred Johnson that's selling his dealership down in Casa Grande, Arizona, he's going to sell to a Jerry Seiner before he's going to sell to me because I haven't got the cash to just give it all to him. And he's sure as hell going to do it before he sells to his parts guy because he thinks he's stupid anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's going to continue to consolidate. And that's sad. I know this. I'll never sell mine to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening.
Do you have family at your store?
I got 2 kids. They're coming up and they're going to do it. In fact, we're in the expand mode if I could find another dealership close.
Mm-hmm.
But I would do it. But it's hard because I'm selling it to them. They're already buying it, but they're buying a little bit at a time, what they can afford.
Yeah.
Over time, but they're also learning too. They're learning while they got a phone call. They can call me now. If I'm dead, they can't call me.
No.
So they can't be waiting. That's why I tell them, don't worry about calling me.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a day when you can't. So
your story is how you got your franchise was you called all the dealers around and asked them who's for sale. You didn't go through a broker or anything like that.
Oh, hell no.
You just called them.
Broker. Yeah, no. Now, I went through a broker to buy the one in Blackfoot, and if I hadn't been in there, that guy was freaking amazing because he kept the dealer kept bailing on me. He'd get sick and he'd drive in there and think it was his 7th to the last day of driving in there, and then he would get cold feet and call the broker and bail. And this guy was masterful. So there are places where they're really good. With me and between the previous owner of this one, Chevy store, was no big deal. It just went through.
So there was one thing that you had said, and that kind of resonated with me because I'm a person who wakes up in the morning a lot of the times, and I just got like anxiety. I would wake up natural state of anxiety. I'm one of those types of people. And there's something that you said to me that really kind of like spoke to me. And you're like, I think you were talking about your 2008, 2009, rough years. And you're like, I don't know if we're going to make it, honey, but I'm going to go home.
She was cutting wood from our ranch to make the house payment. We were at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, there was nothing. And she just said, what are we going to do? I mean, it's 2009.
Yeah.
And she, what are we going to do? And I says, I don't know. What I'm going to do, though, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to go work really, really, really hard. And then I'm going to come home. I'm going to go to bed.
Yep.
And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the same dang thing. If I come home tomorrow afternoon and there's a note on the door that says, we got to move, we're going to move. And then I'm going to get up the next day and I'm going to go work really, really hard. Because that's all that's in my control.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you control the controllable, you change the changeable, and just screw the rest. Only you use a bad word for that.
Yeah. Just focusing on what you can do right in front of you. Yeah, that was something that really kind of spoke to me. I was like, yeah, that's totally true. Just focusing on.
And that's at every level. The guy that just got hired to detail cars, control the controllable, change the changeable, and screw the rest. In other words, he can only shine the car that's in front of him. And no matter that salesperson over there that's yelping that he wants to have that other one done first. Yep. That's not my control. That's in my boss's control. So I'm going to do this and you go talk to him and he just keep on the polish and wax on, wax off. When you wax on, wax off, you do it every time. She ain't going to get mad at you.
How'd you build the money to buy the dealership?
Well, like I said, when I bought the 12 RVs.
Okay.
I went to the bank after I bought them. Said, hey, I need a loan.
More.
They said, what for? And I said, I'm going to get in the RV business. You don't know about the RV business. I said, no, it's true. I don't. You're right. Correct. I like RVing.
Yeah.
And so the guy gave me a loan. It was like, I think it was like for $80,000 or some dang number.
Not much.
Now I have a credit line for the car stores of almost 40 million. But yeah, it was like 80 grand. And I meticulously, I bought RVs and I'd go and I'd pay them off. And it was a really good experience for me. And that's just what I did. You got to involve the banks and you got to sell your banker. If your banker doesn't believe in you, I mean, it's just a fact. You ain't going nowhere.
That was a lesson I learned last year. It's not really about what you sell. It's about the access to money so that, number one, you can get it to sell to other people, and then so other people can afford to buy your product, no matter what it is. You know, like it doesn't really seem to be who's got the best cars, it's who's got the most affordable cars, you know, or the most affordable financing programs out there. You know, that's a lesson I learned. So, well, I'm just kind of looking at my questions here. You know, it's been awesome chit chat.
Well, if you would have interviewed me when we talked on the phone, I'd be a freaking genius right now.
Yeah, you would be.
Because everybody's all down and all standing around the water cooler and all bad. What Trump's going to do? And he's messing it up and he's going to, cars are going to go up 25%. How am I going to pay my bill? All that anxiety. Well, is any of that in their control?
No, they couldn't do anything. Just sell more cars.
And I would go over there and I would say to these guys, and that's what I did. I said, guys, when he did that, it was going to be okay. I mean, hell, we're America, right? We're not going to. Yeah. So anyway, I just said, what do you think this is going to do? Oh, it's going to cause a big recession. Really? It is, huh? Well, does that mean it's going to get to where people ain't going to be able to buy stuff? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Well, I want you to know something. I refuse to participate in a recession. I won't do it. I won't do it. It's not happening. Not in my life.
Yeah.
I am going to get up every day, work really, really hard, sell that car, because everybody's going to be buying cars. And what happened was when that happened, well, even this, but even in COVID, I mean, I never shut down for a day, not one day. And,
you're in a good state to do that up in Idaho.
We were, because, I mean, even Las Vegas, they'd haul your butt to jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were not fun.
Anyway, so, yeah, I just said, I'm not going to participate in it. And I said, stop huddling up. Go make your 35 phone calls, get your 2 appointments. You get your 2 appointments, then if you get 2 bona fide appointments, when they come in, a dead rabbit can sell half of those. That's 40. That's 20 cars a month. Is that all you need? Can you do that in a recession? Are you going to be okay? And I mean, there's a lot of stuff going to happen over the next 4 years.
You telling me it's been a crazy 4 months, you know?
400 days. I mean, we're 100 days in. This guy hasn't, I mean, every Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, there's new stuff. But you know what? We got to learn to trust him. And I don't like him. I'll be first. I don't like him. I was really mad at him when he didn't present a peaceful transfer of power. But after that, I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he is a good negotiator.
Very good negotiator.
Oh, he's really good. I think we'll just Canada just come on over and be a 51st state.
Yeah, why not?
Who says that? Nobody.
Well, then he's talking about reopening Alcatraz. I was like, dude.
Well, because they want to put these people in. The other one too, I think is funny, is you know why he named it the Gulf of America?
Why?
Now I don't know. I haven't seen this in writing, but my sister is kind of one of those tinfoil hat people, and she's got the documents that when Joe Biden was in office, he did a presidential some kind of presidential order that stopped all drilling and all permits for the future for drilling oil in the Gulf of Mexico. But they didn't put any coordinates in the document. So he renamed it
to the Gulf of America.
And now he can let him go. That's who he is. And that's what you got to be as a businessman too. You got to think through it. It's like, how can I tell people that we're here to let them buy a car? We don't want to sell them a car.
Yeah. And
where are they going to be less money? We had people call when we started that campaign and say, do cars really cost less in Rigby? Yeah, they do. I mean, it's crazy. So control.
Yeah. No, I mean, just thinking about you just being creative. The problems. Oh, there's a problem. Okay, great. We're gonna navigate through that one. Swerve, bob, and weave.
I mean, Trump, no way in hell was going to open Alcatraz again. Do you know what that would cost? It
Yeah.
would be, there's no way. You couldn't open it.
Yeah.
But he just put all them Democrats back on their heels. Like, whoa, what are we going to do with all these people? See, they're trying to use that for due process. And he just said, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I think Alcatraz is good.
Yeah. Let's get that opened up again.
Boom.
Yeah.
Over with. Problem solved. Yeah. Okay, now they give him, all that guy's got to do is go to the airport. He gets a ticket anywhere he wants to go and $1,000. Have a nice life.
Yeah, get out of here.
There's no due process in that. I don't know. I don't want to talk politics, but.
No, but everybody talks about it.
Politics,
it's unavoidable.
Matters. It does matter.
It matters.
It matters. But it doesn't matter today, right now, in my life. It's going to matter. It matters, but it doesn't. Not in the day to day.
No. So have you done much? It sounds like you fought a few battles here and there with the state and that sort of stuff. You've done some marketing campaigns. Have you taken any plays out of Trump's book? With kind of controlling the media and that sort of stuff, like controlling the stories before they get to you. Have you done anything crazy like that?
Yeah, I've had a couple things. One time we had somebody vandalize our lot, and they broke several windows out of some Tahoes, and I mean, they did some severe damage. And they called me, and I got up there and called the cops. And I said, "Have you already called them?" "Yeah." "Hold them for just a minute. Tell them just a minute. Don't come over." "What do you mean?" And I picked up the phone and called Channel 8. Said, "Hey, I got vandalized last night. Can you believe that?" Oh, I tell you, it's just sad the world we're living in. I went through this whole thing, and they sent up a camera crew, and then the cops showed up, did our little thing, and we had donations with people wanting to pay. We had more people come buy cars because we had been vandalized, and they wanted to help us out. But it was legitimate. It was real. But there's no good crisis should ever go wasted.
Yeah.
And, the whole thing with the cost less, I mean, when we started the campaign, every time somebody came in and bought a car from us, we'd say, "Have you been somewhere else?" They'd say, "Yes." I'd say, "Have you got a quote sheet on that?" "Yeah." "Is this one less?" "Yes." "Okay." So then we file that in their file. So when it came time, we were ready. We just handed it all over to the Attorney General, and she went, "Yeah, they do cost less." I mean, again, you can't get. I just went through an IRS audit. Biden's 880,000 new whatevers got to me, and I didn't even. I never met the guy. I didn't even go in because it's not in my control. He's going to do what he's going to do. Yeah. And if I go in and act worried, it's going to be ugly. Yeah. Because he won't dig. If I act like I'm not there, he's like, "What?" He's not even scared.
Yeah. Don't care. You got better things to do.
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting. Do you have any, did you go to college or anything like that?
I did. I went to get my MRS degree, or Mr. degree. Worked on that. Got that done.
Okay.
Mr. degree, you got that? Okay. I went to Rick's College, and then I went to BYU for a bit. But listen, the first rule in salespeople is they're inherently lazy and mostly stupid, and I'm both. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wanted to be a pediatrician, and I figured out what it was going to take to get all that done, and that's a lot. And I'm not very smart. I can't take it. I got test anxiety terrible. So I would study my butt off, and my roommate would go in and get an A, and I'd get a C, and it just, no, I'm just going to go get this done. And I'm more of a, what do they call it, technical college kind of guy. I learned to trade. I learned to trade, and let's figure it out. Now, I can't fix nothing. I'll muck it up really bad. But I can sure sell you on the idea that you can.
So I got one last question for you, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Maybe it's a two-parter, but number one, like, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? Is it because you love the hunt? Maybe we did cover that.
100%. It is 100% because I don't ever want to be that guy that says, "Oh, I don't want to work anymore." I want to work. My grandfather worked till his last day. He was 84 years old. And I want to be around just so I can really be in the air of my children. I want them, But yet I want to be that guy that they call and I don't come in and bug them so much. But bottom line, I love it. I love what I do. And if you love what you do and you truly care, I mean, some dealership, if you go look at my websites, all my websites have my cell phone number underneath my picture. Now I don't put Tad Cell, but that's my cell phone number. And if they want to get me, they don't have to. And I tell you, I've told secretary after secretary after secretary, the only thing you're going to get in trouble for is protecting me. Don't protect me. I want to know if the customer's mad. So consequently, right now, my job, as the old guy used to do, I listen to all the phone calls that come in and out of the dealerships every day. And I do a lot of training on that because it's like, why'd you say that? No, don't. You can't say, don't say that. And so that's it. But the why is just, I just like to win. It's more fun. So much more fun. You know, Yogi Berra, one of his favorite sayings, not Yogi Bear, but Yogi Berra, the coach. Yeah. When you reach the Y in the road, take it. I heard that 30 years ago when I was just starting out. And I have really lived by that principle very, very strongly. And that is, don't stand there and try to make a decision. Just go. And then just go hellbent for leather. And sometimes you're going to go right when you should have gone left. But you know what? You can't run back. Yeah. Because you just got to keep going. You chose it. So there you go.
Curious. So are you a pretty fast decision maker? How do you think about it, or what's your decision making process?
My last boss from the RV store that was on its last leg, and if you know what tits up means, and that's when the hog's upside down.
Yeah, I know what that means.
They were tits up, and let's see, he probably, I'd been there about a month and a half. And I went down to Atlanta and I was running the store there, and he comes down. Now, he's from Dallas. You don't just come down to Atlanta, especially the airport. It's just a nightmare. So he comes, takes me to lunch. So we get to lunch and I just looked at him and said, okay, Brett, what you here for? And he just gets all nervous. And he says, so just spit it out. Spit it out. He said, Tad, in the last 2 weeks, you've managed to either bend, break, blow up, completely annihilate, and totally ignore every single rule we had in this company. I said, well, Brett, do you know why? He said, why? I said, because they're stupid. Don't box your people in. Give them freedom. So I say that because, and then he coined the phrase, he called me ready, shoot, aim. He says, you always hit somebody, but it sometimes wasn't the person that you were supposed to hit. I mean, you just shot him. And so, and then we got a casualty, but you have to be quick. Look at, I mean, again, I don't like the man that well. I mean, I have much more respect for him today than I did even when he was running. Mm-hmm. That guy makes decisions. I mean, he makes decisions in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea. Let's do it. And boom. Nobody does that in politics. No. Nobody does that in business. They all going to go have a meeting, discuss it, go over it. I'm just like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, great. And you know what? Sometimes it's like, hey, this is what I decided. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. You need to do. Yeah. And if they don't like it, they can push back and we'll change it back. I can change it back. I made a decision. I can change it back.
Yeah. But you're quick to
decide. Don't be afraid to do that either. Because if you muck up, crow's tastes a whole lot better warm than it does cold. I mean, it is just nasty cold, that stuff. So just own it. You made a mistake. And when you own it and your people see that you own it, they'll own everything. Yeah. I got 100 billion stories.
Yeah, you could be on here all day. I get it. No, you're a very interesting guy. And I can see why you're successful and why you're in the spot that you're in. I've been really enjoyed our conversation. And I can tell you're a successful guy, obviously, but I can tell why you're a successful guy, just your personality.